Hello, everyone. Today, I am alone this time, back into Danganronpa Lapse. Now, last time I played Danganronpa Lapse, Ashley sadly had to get executed as she had killed Cyrus Surik, which was dirty. I actually cried and gave Carl 30 lashes. Also, in between this episode and the last one, I played all of Danganronpa Antebellum Lockdown. That's out so far. So I'm ready for Chapter 2 when Chapter 2 eventually releases. So yeah, let's go ahead and head straight into it. Today I am also going to be streaming, so watch out for that on here on the YouTube page. Anyways, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already as well. Echo Pine. Yes. Da-da-da. I slowly drew open my eyes. My chest felt tight. I inhaled deeply and exhaled heavily, as if to expel my body of all the wound-up fear that stirred inside. Didn't help much. My body felt leaden, my heart hollow. Rising from the bed, I shook the remains of a trying sleep away. Looking at my surroundings, I noticed I had thrown the covers and the pillows on the floor. It was strange. I had fallen asleep, but I saw no dreams or nightmares. My subconscious felt suspended in a null zone. The clock read 4:15. I rubbed the exhaustion from my eyes. Feeling numb and listless, I dragged my heavy body out of my bed and shuffled toward the door, but I didn't know where to go. That's not true. I mumbled to myself. There was one place to think of. Ashley's room? I stepped out of my personal room and saw Lyle down the opposite hall. He just scowled and stomped off. I went on my way. Through the living quarters hall, through the foyer, and up the stairs to the second floor. I saw Say standing in front of the spa lounge door, weeping gently. Say, are you okay? Oh. Caught off guard, Say wiped her eyes. As I approached Say from the staircase, something gleamed in her hands. It looked like a closed pocket watch. She stared at a burning hole in the door, rolling the small object between her fingers. For a moment, she managed to croak out a stiff response. This is how it's supposed to happen, isn't it? What do you mean? We can't do anything. No matter how hard we try, it would still end like this. I had nowhere to go before I came here, but now what do I do? She was visibly shaking. It was horrible seeing her like this. Say, console her. Couldn't say for certain I knew exactly what she was going through, but I just knew one thing. I understand how you feel. Scared and alone. But if it's any consolation, at least you have each other. Oh, okay. I guess it wants me to save. I let the words slip out, but in truth, I wasn't confident in that sentiment in my own heart yet. She rolled the delicate disc in her hands a few times again. I wondered what the item meant to her, if anything. She didn't respond. Instead, she just wiped her tears away. Wiped her tears and nodded. Spent some time with Say in solitude. Ooh. As into the atrium, I spotted Forte gazing at the delicate globe centerpiece. He seemed to be humming to himself. It stopped when I approached. Evening, Echo. Hello. Did I interrupt you? No. It's a melancholic tune. I would really rather not bother you with it. Oh. It's a bit of an unfortunate situation we found ourselves in, isn't it? Despite the heavy words, his face read differently. His shoulders remained relaxed, and he looked up past the globe at the dark, cool sky. He seemed calm somehow. Tell me, Echo, how are you? Are you alright? Huh? Am I alright? No, I am not. No. I'm hurt. The killing game and the trials that follow. No, this whole game, it's horrible and I hate it. We're losing people. Friends we've just met and friends we've known. It feels like there's no end in sight. It's perfectly normal to feel devastation as we find ourselves cautiously navigating life or death situations. The game has instigated those of the spirit inflicted with distress and grief to end is unmentionable and trials heartbreaking. Yes, my soul is stirring, but in my experience on the stage, these sort of feelings never last for long. I cannot have a main character. I cannot have a favorite character in this game, or else they will die. Forte, I'm sorry, gang. We move people to tears with our performances about tragedy, the loved and lost. Yet the audience knows the performance will end, and thus they'll move on with their lives. I can't help but wonder when. How much longer until the curtains close on this story? Forgive me for bending your ear with my thoughts. Once you be on your way. No, that's okay. It's comforting to know I'm not alone in being afraid. Indeed, we are never truly alone. Stood in a moment's silence as Forte saying his words with clarity. Gibberish? Thumbnail. On my way through the atrium and up the stairs, arriving at the third floor, spotted Missy at the marble table at the center of the third floor. She was contemplating something. Missy? Oh, Echo. Excuse me, I hadn't noticed you. Missy looked unsettled. She might have been put off with what happened, what I did earlier. Close the distance between us. What's that? This is... She moved to somewhere with a small decorated box. My revolver and a dagger. Two weapons shone dully in the dim light in the hallway. I discovered the dagger when Cyrus allowed me to explore the room of my associate. Needless to say, I didn't wish to take it with me, but here it is again, as if it were following me. And the gun? Cleaned and posed for use. It looks like it was the only thing to emerge from the wreckage of the smoke lounge. I see. The dangerous tools needed to continue the game were returned to the players. I stared at the weapons in her hands. I wanted more than anything to tear them out of her hands and didn't even know what I would do if I had them. Suppose it's inescapable. Missy snapped me out of my thoughts. Where there is love, grief will be following close behind. Now hold on. Oh, oops. Menu. Let's see who's left. Dead. Dead. She's alive. She's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's dead. He's alive. She's alive. She's dead. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters left. Usually this is where a Danganronpa game would end. Missy seemed to harbor a great concern for whoever this dagger belonged to. And I asked, who was this person? Missy hesitated. Former love. I don't think I need to tell you how important, no, precious she was. So much so that I foolishly endangered everyone. Traces and signs of our friends. They've been placed to provoke us. This dagger is analogous. Being Silva's helmet. They are items of close regard, and to see them away from the respective owner is distressing. I withheld this information because if everyone realized the truth of these items right away, we would all become distraught and lose our bearings in the midst of saving ourselves. But I just don't know anymore. I thought I knew what I was doing, but nothing makes sense. The more time we spend here, the less I know. Morbid curiosity, the desire to delve further and further into a dark well for a pinch of hope. It has driven me to saying no, to so that it has driven me to no satisfying end. And now I'm making you suffer my consequences. Missy, another heavy sigh escaped her lips. I've never felt so aimless. Echo, I don't expect your forgiveness for what I did. Simply put, I introduced a weapon to the fray, which eventually caused Ashley's downfall. Forgive her. I understand why she did what she did. Leaving the weapon out was a show of belief that we would do no harm. I understand in theory, but Missy, you don't need to indulge me. Missy looked at me with earnest eyes. It's easy to want to connect those two damning things together to find a reason within a tragedy, but it's merely not healthy. The truth of the bigger picture is this. Ashley meant to protect the one she cared about. And she did. And she truly wanted to remove a threat from our group, having faith that we remaining students won't do harm to each other after the fact. Despite that, regardless the risks she took, we're still here participating in this seemingly endless game. Our predicament doesn't appear so black and white, does it? Ugh, I'm sorry. Can't seem to form my thoughts. Missy's composure was fractured. She was shouldering the insurmountable weight of guilt. I didn't know what to say. I assume you come up here for a reason as I. I'm sorry for taking your time. I'm sorry for taking so much of your time. I'll leave you be. Oopsies pooies. Well, I might as well, because I'm gonna go eat something. I shall return in one momento. I have returned. I've been gone so long, the music stopped. Anyways, and thank you for trusting me during the trial. I regret having put you through all of that. I nodded almost invisibly as Missy made her exit down the stairs. I realized Missy was right. The situation was too complicated to make strict judgment on what was just or unjust. At the end of the day, everyone was in pain. Why should I perpetuate it by being so callous to them? I sighed. Arriving where my subconscious had urged me, I stood still. I stood in front of the casino. Casino, feeling phantom traces of what happened just hours ago exasperate my bones. My mind wishfully wandered back to a time before this terrible game. A peaceful time before the despair. Ooh. It was just the other night. Ashley and I were talking about nothing in particular, but we knew our time together would come to an end. The autumn season was coming to a close. There's a few more months for our new phase of life to rise from the horizon. We were relishing the bright warm sun of the present before it set into a peerless night. Sitting in comfortable, familiar silence, we enjoyed each other's company. No, don't show me Ashley again. No. Have you decided where you want to go? No, not yet. I was thinking about taking a gap year. Travel. Traveling sounds like a dream. Seeing different people and expanding your worldview. Yeah, but then I'd have to worry about my finances if I'm on the road often. Don't fret, there's always other options. Maybe you could travel locally. There could be an interesting sights in the city that you never knew about. Heh, that's a good idea. I never really thought about that since I just walk everywhere in the city. What about you? Any interesting prospects? Well, Papa wants me to help out on the ranch a little more. The new season's coming up, and we're expecting some competitors to stop by. Oh yeah, the races. You get pretty busy during those weeks, right? It's hectic, but it's fun. I don't mind helping. In fact, I was still unsure about what I was going to do after school anyway. So this gives me more time to think. Some more time than Hyperion. I'm sure he would miss you if he left. If you left. Of course, I would miss him too. We laughed lightly. I don't think you have to worry too much. If anything, you have a future at the ranch with your father. It's a good fallback. Just in case anything were to happen. Right? Yeah. A good fallback. Pondering silence drifted. I think you should travel, though. It would be wonderful to hear all about your journey. Nothing is really keeping you down, no? Not really. But the idea is a little daunting. Learning new languages to get around, not to mention finding the money to do so, it's a little risky. And we're probably not going to have many chances to see each other. There's always a million reasons to do something. Yeah. Besides, if you ever get tired of traveling, I'll always be here. Just don't forget about me, okay? She flashed me that warm, comforting smile of hers. Don't forget. I felt my heart swell. Dang, dude, she's dead. I returned to the first floor after some time. Passing through the foyer, I saw Missy and Forte having dinner in the dining hall. Hello again, Echo. Are you well? Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Missy, I'm sorry I was unresponsive earlier. I just needed some time to sort out my thoughts. I understand. We're all going through a lot right now. Yeah. Even though we shared a mutual sentiment, our eyes never met during the exchange. Forte broke silence. Okay, would you like to join us for dinner? It's been a trying day. You ought to take a moment to unwind. No, thank you. I had so many things on my mind, and no appetite to feed the thoughts. Will you be alright? Yeah. Just have a lot of time to think about. Well, don't push yourself too hard. And don't be a stranger if you end up wanting to join us. Sure thing. Thanks. I left Missy and Forte to enjoy their meal in peace. I wandered to the middle of the main foyer and paused. Something was bothering me. One concern I had about someone I hadn't seen all evening. Did I visit Cannon? Yeah, let's visit Cannon. I figured since I didn't run into her at the atrium or anywhere along the way, Cannon must have been in a room. I went down the living quarters hall and knocked on the door engraved with her silent symbol. Cannon, are you there? Just wanted to apologize. There was no response. I knocked once more for good measure. Silence again. Okay, at least it's not Ding Dong Bing Bong. It's now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will close until 7 a.m. in the morning. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. When she were in her room, she didn't want to be disturbed. There wasn't much I could do. I slowly shuffled off. She's dead, isn't she? No, she's not. I couldn't help but feel guilty for denying Cannon's help, despite her tried sincerity. I wonder if I can get the photo pieces back from Missy. I don't know what that was. My recording stopped. I accidentally stopped my recording. On accident. Oopsies poopies. I wonder if I could get the photo pieces back from Missy. But nighttime had come before I knew it. I would have asked Missy about the torn photo. I would have to ask Missy about the torn photo graph tomorrow. I returned to my personal room and sat on the bedside. I felt sick and shattered. We just passed the first half of the so-called game and lost 4 out of 10 students in our group. Favorite days on the horizon. I feared I feared for what would become of our already sparse community. I settled into bed and closed my heavy eyes. My thoughts were entangled in question after haunting question. The words, sights, and memories blurred together, with no answer in the horizon. I let go. Images unwound and spilled into the night. Sleep would eclipse my mind just another night passed. I like this visual of the moon, I really do. Chapter 3 Dignity Diligence. Dignity Diligence. Oh, Missy's gonna die, isn't she? Sorry, I'm enjoying ice cream. Anyways, what's y'all's favorite ice cream? Let me know in the comments. Something ached. Ugh, I felt my stomach turn over. Hungry. I slipped to bed and went to the sink, splashing away another fitful night's sleep. Oh, no! I got chocolate on my pillow. My favorite flavor has to be mint chocolate chip. I love mint chocolate chip, chat. Mint chocolate chip is amazing. It's been my favorite for as long as I can remember. That and bubblegum ice cream. Bubblegum ice cream is really good as well. Splashing away another fitful night's sleep from my eyes with the crisp water. Alert from the chill, I got properly dressed. It was disturbing how quickly I assimilated to the morning routine. Oh, 7 a.m. Perfect. That means the facilities are open. What happens if you were to lock yourself? What happens if you like stayed in one of the places and just hid there? What would happen then? Hmm. Hmm. I was awake the entire half hour before the preset alarm went off. Grumbling from a habitual awakening, I sulked out of my personal room to grab a bite from the dining hall. The halls were quiet. Nothing but my footsteps upon the carpet kept me company. Across the dimly lit foyer, I sat myself down at the end of the dining hall table. I laid my eyes directly on the basket of pastries that sat in the center of the table. 2 pastries remained, a lemon square and sprinkle of Danish with jam. I helped myself to the lemon square. The delicate, the delicate bite of sweet and sour zest filling me with a flavor vigor. Trying to finish my ice cream. As much as I enjoyed the pastries, I couldn't help remember the melancholic feeling of Pandora's life being cut short. Finished off the lemon square, leaving the jam Danish in the basket all by its lonesome. I actually look kind of busted. I placed the snack in a folded napkin and stuck it in my pocket. Maybe I can give it to Cannon. It's not much, but I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. Give it as a peace offering? I don't think she would accept it in a peace offering per se, but it would be a shame to waste it. Uh-oh. Who's yelling at me? I tried to recall whether or not Cannon had even tried one of Pandora's pastries. Think you're doing? My thoughts were interrupted by a sharp exclamation. I rose over from out of the dining hall and saw Lyle and Cannon arguing in the center, in the connecting hall between the foyer and the living quarters. Oh no. Let's stop fighting, guys! Say was standing beside Lyle once more, watching the scene unfold. Cannon, you're always running away and hiding, aren't you? Shut up! I think I'm going to run head first, and you think I'm going to run head first into danger? I'm not going to be an idiot like you and Echo, getting myself hurt for no good reason. Lyle seized Cannon's camera from her wrist. Hey, hands off! I've had it with you and your secrets. I'll break this thing for good if you don't tell me what you're hiding. No, don't, please. What's going on? I started to intervene, but before I stopped in from within the living quarters. Approaching from down the hall behind Lyle, Forte plucks the camera out of his grasp with ease. You are all awfully lively at such an hour. Forte returned the camera to Cannon as Missy approaches from the opposite side of the living quarters. Lyle and Cannon step back a few paces from each other. The space now singularly occupied by their glares. Cannon wraps the strap around her wrist and grips the camera tightly. Good morning, everyone. Yes, morning to you all. Although I would hardly call shouting and threatening others a productive way to start the day. What's this commotion about this time? Morning. Not entirely sure. I woke up early, so I went to the dining hall to help myself to breakfast when I heard Lyle and Cannon arguing about something. Why were you up so early anyway, Lyle? I haven't been able to sleep well, if you really must know. Now tear it off, but his gaze was tense. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Lyle scoffs. Anyway, I was awake because I was restless. Cannon here was sneaking around my room, looking for dirt, no doubt. That's a damn lie. Is that so? Explain this. Lyle produced a photograph of what looks like to be a checker pattern. What is this? It's a checkerboard. Indeed. Just what are you showing us? It's a chessboard. I was close. I have a chessboard in my personal room. And the only way Cannon would have taken a picture of it is if she was trespassed into my room. You're the worst. Indeed. You know, Lyle started as one of my favorite characters. He has lost it. You were blatantly walking around with the thing tucked into your arm in the early hours of the morning. I didn't sneak anywhere, much less your personal room. I just happened to be around the corner when I saw the strange thing. So you admit you were hiding. Just a minute. What's this about a chessboard? It's none of your business. I brought it only to discuss it with Say, no one else. Missy sighed. Don't be absurd. Whoa. The existence of such a thing has been brought to everyone's attention thanks to your commotion. No use in keeping it a secret now, Lyle. Fine. Lyle leaves the group to retrieve the item in question from his personal room. The rest of us gather in the dining hall in anticipation. After a moment, Lyle returns, presenting a lacquered wooden chessboard. Huh. Okay, to elaborate, what seems to be the issue here? It's not strictly a chessboard per se. It doesn't come with pieces to play with, and there are markings on the opposite end of the corners. For those differences alone, I know what its purpose is. It's the mutilated chessboard problem. If I recall correctly, that's a type of tiling puzzle, no? Yes, the problem is so. Suppose an 8x8 chessboard has two diagonally opposite corners removed, leaving 62 squares. Is it possible to place 31 2x1 dominoes in such a way along the ranks or files that all the squares are covered? For a number alone, you'd think it mathematically impossible. After all, 31 is easy, half of 2, x is 2. However, the problem is impossible to complete. By removing the two diagonally opposite corners is and taking out either black or white squares, whichever is removed. We're left with real estate 32 of one type. One type of square and 30 of the other. Is an issue since the dominoes will always cover one black and one white. If the remaining squares aren't even like that, we'll be left with one domino and two uncovered squares. At the end of the day, puzzles like this are pointless. Not even problems, they're hoaxes meant to frustrate. And in that case, do you believe you were expected to solve it, given you are the ultimate puzzle master? I doubt it. Game with neither instruction or dominoes, just the board itself, with two corners marked, was in my room. Even if it were given to me to solve, whoever gave it to me must know that I would see through the problem straight toward the impossible nature of it anyway. So Lyle had this complicated thing in his room as well. Huh? Hang on. The moment felt oddly familiar, hearing someone had a strange thing in their room. I wondered if there was something coincidence or... Hey Forte, can I ask you something? What is it? When I was shocked the first day, I took you to your personal room to keep an eye on me. I remember you had sheet music. What was it of? Oh, that. The sheets were actually select parts of the libretto for an opera I have some disdainful. Oh? Indeed. The story of a man that, despite his success, makes a deal with dark spirits to get what he truly wants. I don't care much for the moral of it. I see. His choice of words were rather nonplussed. Plussed? How do I say that? Nonplussed. What does that mean? Definition. I've never heard that word before. Of a person surprised and confused so much that they are unsure how to react. Ah. Okay, so basically they're like really surprised and don't know, like, speechless. But his brow furrowed deeply at the mention of the opera. Could these things be indicative of something more? If in their respective rooms Lyle had a frustrating puzzle, then Forte had sheet music that turned out to be for a story he doesn't quite like. Interesting. I wonder then, if the revolver in my room was made in a similar fashion, assess myself with a precarious game within the game itself. What could that mean? Don't you think it has something to do with your talent as well? Perhaps. But conversely, there's a discrepancy among the items. Ashley's room might have had nothing to do with her talent. Yeah, Ashley received her friend Silva's helmet. In a way, it could have been read as a gift at first thought. But given their history, there might have just been a jab at the fight that occurred between them. And I can surmise the sort of room gift Cannon was given. Her camera. I haven't made any effort to hide it. But yes, I have some rather mixed feelings about this. Not elaborating any further, Cannon scowls as she stares at the device. Say, did you also happen to wake in your room with a strange item? Yeah, I did. Would you mind sharing it with us? I wonder if it also something talent related. Say momentarily withdrew it from her own room to retrieve her item. Here. Us. Why does she have a skull and bones statue? Made of gold? What on earth? Is that real? It couldn't be real. The shape of the mouth is stylized to resemble anything realistic. Oh, I guess you're right. Still, it's such a depiction of a skull, fake or not, and chills up my spine. This is kind of heavy too. When I woke up, it was sitting on the cabinet at my foot in my bed, staring at me. It's like it was telling me something bad would happen. It's horrible. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just hid it in one of my cabinet drawers. Today's item doesn't seem to have any outward appearance of being related to her talent, however. Skull and Bones statuette planted in a game centered on murder. I get that impression that it was given deliberately. Yeah, it can't just be a coincidence, huh? So Ashley wasn't the only one that had something out of place in her room when she woke up. It seems nearly everyone here had something unusual in their room. Wait, all these strange things have something in common. The items are to some degree disturbing. All items are to some degree disturbing. And all these room gifts. It seems like they're all meant to unsettle you in some way. Interesting. It was quite disturbing to receive a revolver of all things, before the events of the killing game being revealed to us, no less. Missy, what about the item we had last night? You said it was analogous to his helmet? Correct. It had a painted past. The owner was to kill herself with it for betraying her family's wishes. What a loathsome request. So instead of following her family's blindsided desire, she took the dagger and nothing else. She fled from home. Missy withdrew the dagger from her possession and turned it over in her hands carefully. You had a forlorn look in her eyes as she stared at it. No way. There's no way I'm letting Missy allow another weapon to fall into the wrong hands. Now sped into the dagger from Missy before he held him back with a firm grip. Why are you stopping me? I'm trying to prevent more destruction. Missy's weapons are going to do more harm than good. And you can say with confidence that you won't let the weapons fall into the wrong hands as well? Whoever fights monsters should see to it that they do not become a monster in the process. Lyle, I think you would do well to follow those words of insight, given your reactions to the events. It's not that I don't have any faith in you to solve the workings of our situation, but I don't want to see you turn against us just for the sake of an answer. I'm not turning against you. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this forsaken game we're in. Ah! Lyle hurled the chessboard across the hall, splintering the wood into several pieces. Lyle, violence is not the answer. You have a sharp mind. Don't let rage and confusion blind your judgment. Then tell me, what's the point of these so-called gifts? Missy, you received a gun of all things, and now you've got your hands on a dagger? Say even has a skull and crossbones statue. What good could that possibly serve? Not to mention all the awful gifts. This game has been rigged from the beginning to incite violence, and violence only. Lyle, please, settle down. We're gathered to talk this out. I understand you're frustrated, but discussion is the best tool at our current disposal. If we keep a level head, we're sure to find an answer for the questions at hand. We have so many brilliant minds here. Why not do what we can? Lyle huffed, crossed his arms, and placed haste to the far corner of the dining hall, allowing whoever else to speak. No, all I can speculate is perhaps signs of distrust were to be planted among us from the start, since the gifts might have stirred feelings of resentment. If that's the case, what do you think Art's gift was? Maybe it was because of the thing he was the first one to act first. It could be possible he walked into the mansion with pre-existing bleak feelings that were only exacerbated by the situation we found ourselves in. One could surmise that it is a plausible route for his motivation. The room fell silent for a moment. Missy and Forte were deep in thought, while saying Cannon were their usual quiet selves. Lyle, on the other hand, just allowed the conversation to move at its own pace. Missy continued. It's going to be difficult to reflect on the events past, but I believe it will be necessary to progress. I believe we ought to ask. The killing. What was the root of each occurrence? Art did it out of protection, didn't he? As I understood it, it was done out more out of fear. Ashley was afraid too. She was afraid for Echo's safety. Both of them must have thought getting rid of the potential mastermind behind the situation would stop the game completely. However, if there was a possibility of a mastermind existing within our own ranks, no one dared to comment on such a thing. Regardless, I do not like this. Splintering the unity of the group with hypotheticals won't get us very far. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for right now. And I shall return very soon. And I'm back. Joined by a special someone.
Hello.
Who decided to join?
There's also another special guest.
Yeah, my cat. Why do you kidnap my cat all the time?
Okay.
Regardless, I do not like it. Splintering the unity of the group with hypotheticals won't get us very far. Yeah, besides, who would be so cruel to want to insert themselves into a game that could put themselves in harm's way? That's you. Do you
The
agree?
idea is,
Disturbingly masochistic.
I suppose of faith is required
Amongst.
among us. Among us! So we don't shatter what already lamented and
Delicate trust has been built. We got this far, haven't we? The most plausible mastermind would have been Cyrus, but he was ultimately just a pawn in the overall scheme. So much for his immunity. Another pause. Missy looked over to Lyle, who you'd sulk.
we got 2 paws right here. Lyle, yes. Lyle, have you had a moment to collect yourself?
He lets out an elongated sigh. Sure.
Sigh. Then please your wit.
And assistance will be paramount to solving our predicament. Do you want to read or not? You don't have to read, you can just listen. Haven't doubted your skill for a second. However, I would ask that you cooperate. Missy extends a hand in compromise. Lyle hesitates, but eventually shakes in agreement. Make no mistake, I'm so suspicious of everyone here. This cat stinks.
Oh.
I think he farted. I'm still suspicious of everyone here, Missy especially. Don't think I'll forgive you for the hoops we had to go through to figure out what happened to Cyrus. I didn't expect you. Ah, my charger! My charger! My charger! Ah, mi torta! I don't expect you to accept any of my excuses, as long as we're understood to have the same goal. Oh no. I'm dapping him up. He's giving me side eye. I'm sorry. So long as we're understood to have the same goal to escape our predicament. Whatever. Let's get on with figuring out what this damned killing game. We think about it. The working goal we're supposedly meant to be committing with such horrendous acts for is to earn something called the ultimate prize. Jinx.
Blackout, you only told a haha.
Hey, I said it first. You owe me a
You
spell.
need to say blackout. So you owe me one.
Since when? That never happened when I was your age.
It did something. People said that at school.
You're 8 years old.
You're 20!
And?
This Princy food is like 13.
Not that I'm saying I'm 20.
This guy is 13.
The prize is meant to be received at the end of 7 days of captivity.
Stop being silent.
In that case, couldn't we just wait until the 7th day? Was pursuing the so-called prize even on anyone's mind this whole time? Consider this. What could possibly be so desirable yet completely unspecified that we are provoked to fight to the death? We ought to solely focus on pursuing escape and resisting any pressure to act on killing. That's the only answer I could foresee.
I'm sorry.
You should brush him. He needs to be brushed.
I brushed
But
him.
as we've seen, Zero has deployed a number of things throughout the day to apply stress.
Wait, I'm gonna go.
Regarding the first motive question, just the act of choosing whether or not to discuss it already had its suspicious implications, doesn't
I
it?
need to go get his hairbrush. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get his hairbrush.
Alright, well, I'm gonna continue reading about you. And it didn't happen in Cyrus's case, since the killing occurred early in the afternoon. Bush! Fuzzy! Come here. Hey chat, I don't think he likes me. But if we didn't do anything like we did on the second day, something would have been employed later in the day to ensure we would act. Case in point, the disturbing music. Then, indeed, waiting out wasn't going to be an option to begin with. As far as we could tell, nothing made any sense. Missy furrowed her brow. It's difficult to make concrete statements about our situation. The variety of strange things happening don't seem to have any rhyme or reason.
Oh, you're so cute!
So what can we even do?
It's so cute!
Before anyone could respond, a ringing filled the halls. So, day 5, a wondrous day within the walls. Today's sports motive question is, do you believe in strength in numbers? Yes. That's a real head scratcher, huh?
You knocked me off the bed. Keep it like that. Keep it like that.
And that's right? Nah, not really. It seems pretty obvious, right? Unless you have any will and wills out there. The announcement ended as quickly as it came. Huh, that one's kind of vague. It's not vague, though.
What is vague?
Why wouldn't there be strength in numbers?
What does vague mean?
Shannon broke her silence with a snide remark. It was strange coming from her, considering how much she avoided us. I'm inclined to agree that the answer seems pretty straightforward. I concur, especially so since we are finding ourselves in the very scenario where it is beneficial that we all be present to discuss the game. I'm scooted. Okay, so we can all agree that was completely pointless?
Okay.
Okay, maybe you should...
Stay like that. I just don't splash you.
Back to what we were talking about. What do we think the purpose of the Ultimate Prize and the Preservation Project are as a whole? Missy, you said you want to involve yourself with this group. Can't you make heads or tails of this? I'm trying to make sense of it since we arrived. All I can say is perhaps we found... Oh, I'm doing a British accent for the wrong person, my bad. All I can say is perhaps we found ourselves in an elaborate trap. I heard Lyle mutter, "That's obvious," under his breath. Missy ignored him. Echo, I believe you may be able to recall what I said when you asked about Ultimate Students for the first time. Yeah, it was interesting what you said. What those individual groups or institutions do with the students is beyond me. I've not heard many stories of success or failure from anyone who's had the luxury of being accepted. Anyway, don't take much shock in the title, is all I'm saying. What do those institutions do with the students? I mean, of course, your talents would be highly coveted, but wouldn't the world be seeing constant new developments in, like, biological discoveries and technology? Excellent observation. Why haven't we seen those developments indeed? It's clear that as ultimate students, we are the crux of this game's existence. What do you mean? How do you mean? Who or what singularly determined the fact that we had ultimate talents? Preservation Project. And Echo, you didn't seem to have knowledge of ultimate talents. Students or the Preservation Project at all prior to your experiences so far. Huh? That's true. So I ask, how did you become a participant here? We all had to willingly sign up to be brought here. I'm curious whether Echo's presence is a discrepancy we can bet upon. It seems very peculiar, given the circumstance. That much is clear. In that case, I believe we've been uniquely blessed with the peculiarity of Echo's presence that could shed light on our situation. Okay, close the door, please. You have to close the door! I believe we've been... Oh, okay. Missy thought hard. I need more information. I have an idea on where to potentially fetch the knowledge I seek. Ugh. Okay? You know what? The reason for all this? Why it's so hard to figure it out? Alright, she's gone now. So, well... It's all meant to be beyond our comprehension and capabilities, isn't it? Why not just go along with the game instead of fighting it? Hey! What are you saying? The building shook through the dining hall and suddenly was coming from the foyer. We darted out of the dining hall to investigate. No way. What? Previous impenetrable main foyer doors opened. We're on day 5 and there are still 5 of you. It's impossible. There are 6 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 5 of us. The voice crackled. Test your strength. Explore beyond the doors as a group. Split up. Do nothing, I don't care. Your strength in numbers. Can you remain a group in spirit as you wander through the mysterious halls? Yes, the doors once thought of as your way out have been thrown ajar.
They've never really been an exit. You all just assumed so. How silly is that? And, oh, what's this?
Facing opposite the foyer doors, the elevator indicator light up, showing a new floor available to us courtroom.
How even let you all take a detour to the courtroom? Find the secrets of this wretched place, if you can bear to face them. Yes, the game will go on regardless how hard you resist. What?
Everyone was astonished. We were all fixated on the gaping dark hole that lay beyond the previously dangerous door. Joe is challenging us to start a secret of our captivity. So be it. I'll be infiltrating Cyrus's room. He had knowledge of mine and Ashley's connections. It's like he has access to much more information. What? But the door that mysteriously kept us in has opened up. There could be information further in the building, too. Niall pulls out the secret note he's been holding on to since discovering it on the second day. This note has to mean something. It's clear that Zero represents one of the symbols and has shown himself in the courtroom. So the same has to be said about Eve's symbol. Whoever's operating the announcements, Eve or Zero, have to be somewhere beyond the doors. It would be too obvious for Zero to be hiding in the courtroom. What if it's simply an artificial intelligence behind the two personalities? Then what? Searching for something intangible and scripted to run the game won't relieve the overall secrets beyond the walls. Cyrus knew things about the project as a whole. What kind of information can't be denied at a time like this? Lyle, Missy, please! Arguing again isn't going to solve anything. Agreed. I hate to suggest it, but perhaps this opportunity to force my question presenting itself in a testable way. That's what I was thinking. We recall day 3, the additional mode of distressing music was implemented at 4 p.m. We can split up investigating until 4 p.m. We can rendezvous and exchange information. All the while, bracing ourselves for whatever Zero has in store for us. In that case, I'll venture into the unknown. If anything goes wrong here, you can bet I'll be the one to puzzle the truth together in the aftermath. Lyle stands squarely before the dim hall of the open doorway. I suppose it's our best option. It's not the wisest thing to do given our already small group, but it would give us an edge in discovering the secrets of our whereabouts. Missy nods as she makes her decision to remain with them in the main wing. There are 6 of us, therefore we ought to divide into groups of 3 so we can all keep an eye on each other in our respective areas. Breaking off into 3 parts is out of the question. Exactly. Ouch, it has to be teams of 3. Cannon, you're coming with me. What makes you think I want to go with you? As much as I'd miss your awful company if you didn't come, you won't let go of your camera, and I think it might be just a touch useful going down, yeah, okay? Hannah rolled her eyes, but didn't object further. I'll join Missy, or I shall not let anything go wrong. Besides, I trust Cannon to keep an eye on things for me. Sure you do. We decided on splitting between investigating before your doors remaining. Only myself and Say remaining, I looked to her to see what group she would go with. Or Say remained still. Guess she was waiting for me to make my choice first. I wondered what everyone else is expecting to find from this. Ooh. I might have to choose where to go, so I'm gonna save here just in case I gotta make a decision later. Fort. What do you think you'll find? Who can say? I certainly don't know what to expect, but I'll do my best to assist Missy and her endeavors. Oh, I see. Not sure. Sorry. Sorry. It's the cat hair. I have a memorable experience in the overall scheme. Don't fret, if you can't lend a hand, keep in mind simply the impact we have on the other people are important to each other. He approached Cannon, wishing to apologize for what happened yesterday. I didn't quite know what to say. Cannon didn't lift her eyes to meet mine as I tried to organize my thoughts. Echo, hustle! Please, Echo. Time is of the essence. Cannon continued to stay silent. Lyle. Echo, hurry it up, will you? I know, I need some time to think. The worst action is inaction. We have to dig up this miserable place of secrets. Lyle's patience wasn't already paper thin. I just applied a hydraulic press atop of it with my indecision. Say, did you have any preference? No, I'll go with whoever. I don't care. You pick. Okay. So, whichever group I decided to go with, say will likely join the other. Are you having trouble deciding? A little. I'm mostly worried what something bad might happen. Perfectly normal to feel fear. It means you're still human. Your senses haven't assimilated to the awful environment.
Come on, you all. I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, do you? Time's a wasting.
Zero's taunting voice rung through the halls once more, his laugh crackling through the speakers. This feels like an important choice. Perhaps I should think carefully. Which group? Menu. We're saving right here. Because we get to go both ways. We get to go both ways. So let's join Missy. I say I'm gonna go with Lyle first. Join Lyle and Cannon exploring beyond the doors? Yes. I'll go with Lyle and Cannon. It was decided. I joined Lyle and Cannon near the foyer doors. Say join Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the center glass table. Then that's that. We'll each investigate to our fullest abilities and rendezvous here about before 4 p.m. And alright with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. Lyle had already begun walking past the doors before she asked. Cannon silently matched his pace. I hastened to keep up. He stepped through the doorway into the darkness. Okay, let's go ahead and save here. Why does it keep going to the settings? My eyes adjusted to the dim light as we were quickly met with stairs that tumbled down a dark length. Not a single word was exchanged between the three of us as we trudged down the steps further away from the foyer's glittering hall. An anxious feeling rose in my stomach as I glanced back at the dying light. Dying Light? I love that game! The other group was already out of sight. Ooh, after some time the foreign floor beneath us was revealed itself on the stairs. The hidden floor was gained access to stood in stark contrast to previous floors. The lighting was dim, the walls dark and cool. Regardless, some remained decorated with delicate gold furnishings and a familiar silver kiosk. An elevator hall divided the room into equal halves, similar to the main elevator floor. Looks like we can take this elevator back up to the main wing, huh? Probably. But what's the use of going back now? We made a decision to split up. We need to investigate. Look for an exit. That really need to be said. Lyle instructed the two of us, but before anyone could get very far, we could hear the unfortunately now familiar speaker crackle.
So you all decided to split up, huh? That's alright. No sweat off my back, figuratively speaking, obviously. Thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quite yet. Anyway, I have a very special big motive for you all later, but for now, I have some fun little gifts. Not for everyone, mind you. These will be for Cannon and Missy respectively at the nearest kiosk. Grab it if you want it, or leave it for someone else to stumble upon, I don't care. At this point, whatever you do is meaningless anyway. Huh? Wasn't sure if it was just me, but it feels like Zero's tone was different. I'll check back with you folks later. Enjoy your investigation. The announcement ended. Lyle went over to the further kiosk as directed. Cannon hurried to put herself between Lyle and the kiosk. Not so fast. There's no way I'm letting you see whatever this messed up crap is. How do we know it's going to be bad? Everything in this place has been nothing but bad, genius. What makes you think this is any of your business anyway? Lyle rolled his eyes and left Cannon in relative peace, going about his way to search for an exit. I stood by in curiosity as Diaz made a small sheet blank face up. Cannon rips the sheet out of the receiver, balls it up in her fist, and stuffs it in her pocket while I glance. I won't fall for any motives. If I don't look at the thing Zero's trying to tease me with, right? I guess so. Let's see. Here's a map of our current floor. Doesn't look like there's much here. Two long halls parallel to each other, the opposite side of the room. Toward the back opposite of the stairs, there were two larger rooms. One the trophy room, and the other... glitch. Multi-purpose halls? What the... The other room was redacted. Even so, we're here anyway, so we can just visit the room itself to see what it is. We stepped away from the kiosk to explore the underground floor. Where did Lyle go? As we passed the two sides of the hall, I took a peek in. There were listed a multi-purpose event halls decorating settings for larger gatherings.
The larger rooms were sparsely decorated with a number of tables and chairs and not much else. The event halls were pretty. Like much of the building, they lacked any sort of quality of life. Hannah and I wandered about, but not for very long. Nothing glaringly strange caught our attention. It was as if this place was never meant to be anything more than recreational. The entire time that we explored, Cannon kept a safe different distance from me as I pondered when it was time to make amends. I was waiting for us back where we started. About time you two lot caught up. What did you expect? You didn't demand we all travel glued at the hip. Hey now. Two glared at each other, a palpable tension burning the air. So, did you find any sign of an exit? No, the hallway behind me just goes to the shared elevator. Not an exit in sight. But I haven't looked in either of the rooms yet. One of the rooms is listed as the trophy room, the other is strangely redacted. Then let's check out the redacted one. My interest is piqued. Three of us approaching the listed room. There was a metal nameplate on the door, but it was scratched out, the laser engraving lost underneath the messy hacking. Of course, the name was completely scratched away. Lau rattled the doorknob, but it was locked tight. Our entry blocked by an activate keypad. Seen nothing but bad. Keypad's light I indicated was red, fixed for a 6-digit code to unlock the door. What's with the keypad? How should I know? Well, you disabled the trap in the main foyer door, didn't you? That's because there was a hidden panel in the wall of the main foyer. I just turned it off. Nothing fancy. Is this any different? Keypad is completely different. If we input an incorrect code, it's likely it'll shut us out permanently. Lau shrugged dejectedly. Unless we find a code, I suggest we leave this door alone until we're certain something works. Maybe check out the trophy room. Maybe we can find some clues in there. Lau grumbled, started headed toward the trophy room on the other side. I really doubt it would be that convenient to find the code, but there's nothing left to lose. I bet the freaking code is on Cannon's paper. On entering the trophy room, we were greeted with something nice. Oh crap, there are axes, a bow, and shotguns. Is that a bear? It's not alive. It's a taxidermy bear, which means it used to be a bear. I nearly toppled backwards at the sight. The room was filled with unmoving animals, posing their most intimidating predatory state. Lau and Cannon drifted in. I gulped and slipped in. Inside, there were displays of smaller animals, foxes, rabbits, squirrels even. I don't see squirrels. Y'all see a squirrel? I see a coat and a jaguar. Toward the back of the room were hunting weapons, crossbows, rifles, hatchets. I'm glad this room was hidden from the start. I muttered the observation to myself, but I didn't give much comfort. Even though the large selection of weapons was inaccessible, danger still managed to find its way through. I sighed and continued my search for the code or sign of an exit. What felt like an eternity passed. Turned the room upside down, looking for hints or clues to the keypad or otherwise, but all came up empty-handed. I sat down in one of the lounge chairs and took a beat. Searching and searching to no avail only proved to load more exhaustion on my already tense shoulders. What now? I looked at myself as Lyle and Cannon just aimlessly idling in the trophy room with our empty eyes falling on the miscellaneous decor. Crackling of static in the air stifled the brief repose we found ourselves in, reminding us we are all amidst the game's encompassing shroud.
Hey, I'm checking in on you all. Having fun exploring the new digs? I bet you are. I have 2 more fun little gifts for you folks, Forte and Say. There's Salomon Song for the former, and for the latter, nothing. You're kind of insignificant. So such a gift suits the person, yeah? Enjoy this weird tune if you can. It's all in German, so it's nonsense to me. His voice dropped out and the tune carried on softly. Gentle haunting piano accompanying the droning and gentle vocals. I couldn't comprehend what was being said, but the infamy of the song created was unnerving. That's the song he doesn't like. Oh no. Wait, both the gifts were directed to Forte and Say, but they're in a group together. Missing cannons were given individually. Dear even said it didn't matter that we split into 3 groups. So? Lau's voice from across the trophy room startled me. So nothing. I was just wondering out loudly why this was the case. It's more than likely he knows something we don't. No, I hope they're okay then. All 3 of them receiving something strange is kind of worrisome.
trailed off, watching Lyle's pace restlessly up and down the room. I wasn't sure if it was just the silence between us, but it sounded like the music was getting louder. Lyle came to a stop in the center of the room and stuffed his hands in his pockets in resignation. Damn it, it's ridiculous. Zero commanded we test our strength by opening the stupid door, just so we could make a mess of this trophy room? The whole game just, it reeks of inanity. Nothing is connecting, nothing makes sense. Being in a killing game isn't some puzzle where you jigsaw the pieces together. I don't think there's any sense in it at all, unless you're some twisted sadist. There has to be a reason for this. To put us all together and just quickly tear us apart. Something as malicious as this game, Reason got up and left a long time ago. You're talking like you're not a part of this. I've been trying my best not to involve myself, period. But you are involved. You're inextricably and unavoidably, indivisibly a part of this game. No, you don't get to say you're not a part of this. Weren't you the one who had conclusive proof of the first killer? Didn't you push the last trial forward by realizing Echo hadn't seen as an important message? What makes you think you can pick and choose what you want to participate in? How can you be so cold and unfeeling about all of this? You can't have any good reason to constantly be turning your back to all this treachery when you're completely steeped in the involvement. Cannon was dumbfounded. Shut up, Lyle. Cannon was shaken. At this point, the music had grown into an echoing drone, the murmur of the piano keys striking something fearful in my heart. Lyle and I stepped back. The tension in the air was heavy as Cannon's biting glare commanded all our attention. Who do you think you are? Cannon's voice was low growl. Her voice was mixed with a stifling, chilling torment. Cannon tried to shake out something, anything to her to quench her invisible fury, but my throat was dry. She darted toward the back of the room. And the lights went out. What the? Ah! Lyle? His voice cried out in agony. I tried to follow the voice, but it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing and lost my footing in the darkness. What's going on? So I popped in and out of the speaker before anything else could be made. Felt my back splitting in two. What? Fiery pain, unlike any other, tore my skin, dug through my muscles, and split my bone. I fumbled to the ground, my limbs failing to catch the scent. Cannon? My body felt limp and consciousness escaped me. Cannon Otha lost. Cannon killed us? Cannon killed us. So that's the bad ending. Cannon! Does that mean Cannon's gonna kill Lyle and the other and Say? Join Missy and Forte in searching the rooms? Yeah. I'll go with Missy and Forte. It was decided. Join Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the center glass table. Say joining the Lyle and Cannon near the foyer doors. Then that's that. We'll each investigate to our fullest abilities and rendezvous here about before 4 p.m. That alright with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. Lyle hurried to knock on the doors. Cannon silently matched his pace and Say scurried to catch them. As the three faded out of sight, I immediately began to feel uneasy. Is this okay? Splitting up? Come now, Echo. A choice has been made. The general consensus is that we want to split up evenly if we wanted to comb the building in a timely manner. Yeah, sorry, I'm just a little worried. Couldn't shake the remnant hostility between Lyle and Kin's argument this morning. We should not have put them together. There was a crackle of static before Zero started speaking again. The other side split up. This point, whatever you do this anyway. Sure, it's different. Yeah. Your announcement ended. Missing went over the directed. So much more victim reports. Chaos printed a small sheet, blank face up. What is it? Don't feel any pressure to share. It's unpleasant. Be frank, when I say it's not expecting unpleasant. As he tore the small sheet from the print feed and flipped it around. As if being beholden to her vexing gift wasn't enough, I have this to remind me of the game's treachery. She showed on the front of the sheet a photo of a darling drenched in blood, a mocking picture of her death. As she spat the words as Forte and I took a quick look, turning our gaze away from the horrific sight. It's truly despicable. As she stared at it a little longer before stowing the picture with her in her coat pocket. We really must get to the bottom of this treachery. I'm revolted by how condescendingly this game treats lives. Missy turned down the living quarters hall towards Cyrus's room. It didn't occur to me until we arrived at the door that we don't have a way in, do we? What do you mean? Isn't the door locked? Desperate times call for different measures, don't you think? He drew Darling's dagger and swiftly struck the doorknob off. Don't exactly have Cyrus's ID bracelet, now do I? I guess not. As he inspected the borehole previously occupied by a doorknob and inserted the dagger, pulling the latch away from the jamb until the door clicked open. And there we are. Do you think this would be against the rules? It wasn't explicitly stated. However, if it were, I'll deal with the fallout in the courtroom. Missy was persistent. She opened the door and marched straight in. Sadly sorry for the intrusion. They stepped in and I trailed along behind them. Please tell me Canada doesn't kill people. Cyrus's room had had little defining feature in it. So in line 14 Ashley's and design, the only thing setting it apart was the manually file folders on the bedside table. It was only a hunch, but it seems I was right in presuming Cyrus had information about us. As he fanned the folders across the bed and began his search. Here, grab a folder and see if you can find anything interesting about our situation. Duarte helped himself to a folder and glanced at the first few pages before seating himself in a spare chair. Oh, we're looking for anything specific. Anything at all, honestly. The more we know, the better. I picked up the folder at the bottom of the pile and sat cross-legged on the floor and opened the file. I found floor plans for the building. There were some general blueprint diagrams, nothing I could really make sense of. Not that they looked much different from the maps displayed on the kiosks. The only thing to note was a sheet was stained with blood in the corner. Among the blueprints was a small booklet. Title read, Floor Plans Game L on the inside page. 5 floors were listed in the index. Wait, 5 floors? At the top we have... Okay. Superstructure, Trial Grounds, Infirmary. It wants me to save. Let's save here just in case. Living quarters, casino. Oh, 0. Okay. Living quarters, casino, smoke lounge, garage, art gallery. Activities, spa lounge, climbing center, jazz club. Living quarters, dining hall, study, theater. Collections, a trophy room, and something spattered in blood. The last floor listed had 2 sections. One was a trophy room, the other was connected. So Wild Cannon and Say are probably visiting the trophy room on the floor below us. I started through the booklet and found basic information we already known. All floors of kiosks communicate, braces are used for identification. Whoa. Active hours are firm. Nothing new yet. Flip to the back. Look for detail. 5th floor. However, when I arrived toward the final pages, I noticed they were torn out. Whatever remained of the page stuck out from the binding in a messy tear. I grumbled. Of course, details of the floor beneath us are conveniently gone. Stared at the back panel and noticed something odd. It seemed to be writing on the back panel. It was barely visible, but in bright light. Couldn't just make it out. 251110? Ah, the code for the basement. Maybe Cyrus himself wrote these numbers on the last page with a certain amount of pressure, resulting in almost invisible imprint. These numbers might have been important, seeing as the pages before it was torn out. Or they could have been a mistake, and that's why the pages were removed. Have you two found anything important to share? Snapped out of my concentration. Oh yeah, I found the floor plans that show a floor below ours. From the looks of it, Lyle, Cannon, and Say went down to the trophy room. The trophy room doesn't sound too promising. Well, There seems to be another room, but it was also crossed out. I can't figure what else is down there. Also, look at this. There's some numbers just barely visible here. So missing the impression of numbers at the back panel. What do you suppose these 6 digits could mean? Code, perhaps? But I don't recall encountering any sort of code-locked door in our immediate facility. Then it's likely the code is meant to be used in the area where the 3 of them went. Right. That said, let's finish our investigation before we visit them. Then we rejoin them. Well, when we rejoin them, we'll see what discoveries they have to report, whether or not the code will be of use after that. I nodded and made a point to memorize the numbers before setting the booklet aside. Jorge, did you have anything to note? I came across our class's dossier, namely, student profiles about each of us. Student profiles? Did you find anything about me? Still wondering why exactly I was involved in this game, and I didn't explicitly have been given an ultimate talent. I've exhausted the files in hand, and I didn't see your name anywhere. Oh, I see. Terribly sorry. I understand it's been bothersome to be here as an outlier. It's not your fault, Jorge. I guess it's coincidence. Although I did come across something useful. These student profiles have an immense amount of background details. Important figures, significant others, fears, other miscellany. But other than Cyrus, no one present has any background involvement with the game. So all of us present are just victims of coincidence? It seems statistically improbable, given our rare talent and expertise. Yes and no? How shall I explain it? Start, as we are aware, the minimum requirement to come here has to be an ultimate student and receive a letter of recognition from the Preservation Project. Should they have accepted the offer for protection, there is a period of time between sending the letter back and, I suppose, being whisked away to the secret location. It seems, in that period of time, there was a sorting method to create the class. Classes were to be composed of pairs of ultimate students. These pairs of ultimate students would have to be 2 people who were significantly involved in one way or another. For example, the folks we did see from day one, Art and Lyle, were apparently considered to be close enough for pairing off. Though it appears this roster would have included a few other students that would have formed pairs, but aren't present. One generally assumes Cyrus himself crossed out the students that were absent. However, there are 2 students that aren't crossed out, which may require further inspection, and, well, it would be best if you saw for yourselves. Okay, reveal the roster with student names and talents. A quartz. That's 0. What? A quartz radio host. Escano Launchmaker, Complino, Termina, Westbridge, Zurich, Solo, Ota. Am I crossed out somewhere? Whoa. There were 15 profiles shown on the roster. 1 next to Cyrus was clipped out, and 5 were crossed out with dark ink, bringing the total student profiles visible to us to 11. However, I wasn't on the roster, so it should have been brought the number down to 9 since I wasn't included. G. Esper, cartographer. She had the twin? Peculiar. She noted there are 2 extra students we haven't yet to encounter. Yes, they are listed as being in association with Say and Pandora, from the looks of it. Does that mean they're also ultimate students? That is indeed the case. They're listed as ultimate radio host and ultimate cartographer. Akihiko Quartz and Gaia Esper, respectively. Gaia Esper? Let's have a closer look at those 2 students. Missy hastily moved aside the folders strewn across the bed and placed the student profiles for Akihiko Quartz and Gaia Esper. Akihiko Quartz looked like 0. His clothing and hair were different colors, but his actual facial features were the same. And Gaia Esper looked awfully similar to Pandora. Even more damning were the school's symbols depicted along with their profile pictures. Well, one thing is for certain. It's clear to us now that Zero's true identity is Akihiko Quartz. and we can conclusively put a face to the second mysterious announcer's name, Eve. It seems Pandora must have known more than she was letting on, seeing as the true identity of Eve appears to be her very own sibling. Her twin. That said, seeing as the other student associated with the real, it could only mean Sei, knowing Akihiko has some sort of further involvement with this game. Hers, no doubt. Sei must be the mole we are seeking. Sei? My head was spinning. Were we being fooled from the start? Two people on the inside were connected to two entities administering the game. Wow, that voice crack. Shouldn't we confront Sei now that we know she might be up to something? Doing so could prove dangerous. I would like to watch her movements to see what she's thinking. As far as she's aware, she doesn't know we're onto her. It's difficult to determine what is going on in her mind. She speaks so little. Then, I think we should check out Pandora's room. She might have something hidden in there since she's a part of this. Excellent idea. Still like to look over any of the files if you don't mind. I'll go with you, Echo. I'm curious to know what Art's notable gift was. If you would like to make a detail, I nodded and approached the exit. Oh, just a minute. Missy gave the dagger to Forte. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Oh, he's gonna kill me, isn't he? You can use the dagger to knock off the doorknob like I did earlier. On second thought, I don't know if I want to leave you alone like this. I'll be fine. I still have the gun on my person. I won't resort to firing it, but seeing as our situation is becoming more contentious, it may not be my choice. Let a shiver go up my spine. Missy was taking the situation much more seriously, with a chillingly unfeeling demeanor. Whoa, that voice crack. Understood. We'll make haste in our investigation and return promptly. It's gonna kill me when the music starts. And I stepped out of Cyrus's room and walked to the opposite hall of Art's room. There, Forte struck the doorknob, pulled down the latch, and opened the door. The only thing in Art's room was a worn-looking golf bag. Why did we go to Art's room and not Pandora's? The litter bag was embroidered with the Pandora's name. Oh, this must have belonged to his grandfather. Art must have been reminded of his past time golfing with him. It must have been distressing to see this upon waking, to say the least. He let out a heavy sigh. Fortunate, but it explains his reaction to Pandora's question. Not knowing she might be involved, do you think she goaded him on? That would be quite masochistic, wouldn't it? And to what benefit? After all, she fell by his hand. It's true. They paused. Do you believe the flap of a butterfly's wings could cause a hurricane? Huh? A little thing like a butterfly creating disaster sounds improbable. It's a theory. Minute occurrences within similar initial starting conditions can lead to drastically different outcomes. This situation could very well be one of those drastic outcomes. Are you speculating Pandora was the entire scenario off by purposefully inciting the first murder? Who can say that was her intention? Besides, her interactions were never really loyal, were they? She was kind to everyone. So who's to say perhaps the flap of this butterfly's wings caused a storm that would eventually give way to the shining rainbow that would grace our skies? That's a pretty optimistic look. Oh look. Looking forward to the eventual repose from this nightmare is all we have, isn't it? Eventual response. Repose. I could only hope something like that would free us from the trappings of the storm. Though, why should we wait for something minuscule and out of control like the winds to dictate our fate? I'm keen on taking what such matters into my own hands, if need be. Oh, so I'm guessing since Sei was here, Sei was freaking being pressured by Forte and missing when it was revealed that she was in the game. Not sure I know where to begin with such an endeavor, but there's neither here nor at the moment. Shall we move to the Pandora's room? Yeah, let's check it out. Please, Missy, he's going to kill me. Please, don't kill me. I left Art room to visit the living quarters on the side of the foyer, entering Pandora's room in the main in some fashion once again. Forte and I came upon yet another nondescript personal room. It's empty. Only this time there was nothing to be found in her room. Huh? Did Tora not receive some special kind of room gift? Perhaps because she was involved, there was no needed? But Sei has one. A creepy one at that. Yeah, it's an ominous skull and bone statue. Two of us peeked at the dresser, and we were greeted with nothing but stationery and other miscellany. Wait, what if she was doing what Cannon did? Cannon said she'd received that as the camera, right? And she's been clinging to it, especially since the beginning of this whole predicament. That certainly wouldn't be out of the question. Do you recall anything Pandora might have had that would be grounds for suspicion? Yeah. That secret note. She showed it to me just before nighttime on day 2. First I thought something was fishy, and maybe she was hiding something, but I pressed my fingers to my temple. I don't know. Nora ended up suffering and the note fell into Lyle's hands. Maybe the secret note was her vexing gift. But if she were some kind of double agent, why would she nonchalantly share the note with me? You can say, I sighed. The more we know, the better. I couldn't help but think the opposite. As we dug up more information, the more confused I became. I could only hope Lyle, Cannon, and Say found no answer to the many questions. First time I was afraid to uncover more of these secrets. Let's just return to Missy with our findings. Okay, good. The music hasn't started yet. He's not gonna kill me. Returning to Cyrus's room once more, Forte and I found Missy in deep concentration. Welcome back. Did you find anything interesting? Art had his late grandfather's golf clubs in his room, and Pandora had nothing. Nothing? Echo speculates that perhaps the secret note mentioned in the first trial may be Pandora's room gift, the same fashion as Cannon's camera. The room was empty. She probably kept the note on her person for safekeeping or something, but when she left in the pantry on her day, Lyle's been holding on to it since. We'll have to take a closer look at it when we rendezvous with Lyle. We do turn our gaze an intense glower to the rest of the documents. Anything new here? Some amount of news, yes. Take a seat. No, she's Chris Hansening us. Pretty and I sat in the spare chairs like I missing her full attention. She sat in momentary silence, fierce gaze transfixed on the folders. I've been reading on its history of involvement. The involvement of multiple students in killing games just like this one. Killing games plural is in multiple? Yes, I know it's starting to say the least. In that case, that reminds me, in the folder I looked at, our game was labeled Game L. What do you think L means in terms of these multiple games? Yeah, that's interesting. I believe in that context, L is the Roman numeral for 50, so a game is a 50th game. 50 games? Oh, a definitive number to help enumerate how long this has been occurring. Let's see. If 49 games have taken place over a span of approximately 7 days, at most, with no breaking each game, that's 343 games, the days. What's a year worth of this hell? I don't understand. I believe that tracks. I remember hearing about this project sometime late in my junior year. Why so many games, you may ask? These games are implemented with ultimate students in mind. Ultimate students will be prime suspect for rigorous testing and scenarios involving battling to the best of their ability. Become all of their ultimate students come out on top. Do the best of the best. Who's that? Wait, what is that? I don't remember who that was on the thing. Students come out on top to be the best of the best. Experiments were used to determine who could carry the future. There's Raven Project and this killing game. They're one and the same. Seems we aren't just a 1 in a million occurrence. But why? My voice cracked. So this place, it's just some kind of petri dish for creating an ultimate student that has no moral regard for human life, or for what they're doing. Preservation Project has washed their hands of their concerns with morality. It's clear in this documented history. What if it's fabricated? All fake only to stoke fear? It's very plausible. Fear is a powerful tactic. Cyrus himself, after knowing all this, had very little room to operate. He was under a considerable amount of pressure, and eventually collapsed. Shaking. Comprehension of the situation was the last thing on my mind. Fear chilled me to the bone. Missy, aren't you afraid at all? I'm mortified. However, knowing the darkness that lurks behind the malicious people's intentions is nothing new to me. Calling an individual person simply a constituent to strip humanity into massive bloody numbers. It's nothing about numbers. We play with living ammo. Live ammo. Game toying with the livelihood of wildly talented students, enabling a maddening battle royale to create a singular, albeit misdirected, towering ultimate student. Missy exhaled sharply. This must end now. She stormed out of the room. Missy! Good night chased after her. Missy stood and crossed her arms to the elevator. She was embroiled in thought. Her brow knit, posture imposing. Are you in full possession of your facilities? You aren't one to change food like this. I hate to say this, and I only have a hunch. I have little to rely on, but gut feeling lately, I have nothing but instinct to justify acting upon them. I have nothing except shelter of a photograph and all. Nothing but a vengeance for bringing this establishment to the ground into a burning hell for all the suffering it's put us through. I was so misguided, so blindsided for thinking I wanted to be part of the preservation project. I've been played for a fool. Missy, none of us could have known this would be a fate. It's possible the two conspirators must have known something from the start. Rather than confront the one remaining, we should attack the source. Later, trying to Missy stepped in. We're going to the courtroom. Only the monotonous elevator hum filled our ears as we traveled the courtroom floor. We entered the dark circular room once more, this time without explicit order to determine a culprit. It's quiet, the windows were pitch black, Zero was nowhere to be found. Missy stepped in, looking for an indication of the there's holographic representation. Forte and I filtered into the empty room aimlessly. I can't see a thing through these windows. It should be early afternoon about now, shouldn't it? Perhaps the shutters covering the windows, if I recall correctly, they closed after the trial. He ran his hands across the wall, feeling the creases that lined the foundation and seams running in miscellaneous ranks and piles. Ugh! He had tried prying one of the sides open to no avail. He knocked on the wall, resulting in an echo bouncing beyond the barrier. There's an empty space beyond this wall, probably only open to the students being executed. You think Zero's operator is hiding where executions take place? I gulped. It was not a sight I wanted to think about. I guess it would have been too easy to visit the courtroom after Zero encouraged us to investigate this area. Then she stepped out from the elevator again. The infirmary has nothing to note of either. As she circled the courtroom stands, one before settling on her plate, she leaned back and crossed her arms. Tense expression painted her face. Even if we found Zero, how were you going to get any information out of him? He must have known we broke into Cyrus's room, so he might be even more cautious. If I can get him to start talking, we're only over halfway there. About running a conversation long to allow us an opening. Whether it be a contradiction or unknown fact, the more he talks, the faster operations will diminish. That said, we've entered the most damning areas with little to show for. I feel as though we've hit a dead end. It's possible Lyle, Cannon, and Say had better luck on finding information in their search. Can only hope they turn up with something of note. Three of us steeped in a long contemplative silence. Now, thinking about meeting up with the others, wondering if they were just sad as luckless as we were in finding anything of use. So Cannon remembered. Missy, do you still happen to have Cannon's photo, the one from last night? I know I said I didn't want it, but oh, certainly. I didn't have to patch it together, though. Missy drew the two halves of the group photo from her coat pocket. I lined the two halves together and gazed at a moment in time. It was clearly detached. That's okay, I could release soft looks from Forte and Missy. They seemed to understand that I felt remorseful for what I had done. I want to return it.
A body has been discovered in the trophy room.
No. Oh dear. Quickly! No! Wait! We rushed back into the elevator, heard the clicking the button for the foyer. The foyer light chimed. Oh no, the door slid open after what felt like an eternity. We were greeted with a bloody sight. Okay, I'm gonna stop this recording here, chat. Oh dear. Oh dear. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter, @thestopper8. Join the Discord, link is in the description. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.